Alright, well, we're setting in the new oats and alfalfa seeding. It's July 2nd. I'm going to jump out and we're going to look at it a little bit. Trying to decide how wide to lay the windrow. I've got to see how wet the ground is. Just haven't decided. There are weeds right here along the edge, but yeah, I don't think I want to lay it quite that wide. I'm afraid I'll drive on too much of it. I'm going to go one notch narrower. See, there's going to be places in this field that the ground's a little wet. So, I don't know if I want to be driving on it and pushing it down in the dirt. We'll make a round with it this way. And then we're going to go from there. But here, you guys can see how tall that stuff is now. Looks like we got pretty good alfalfa stand in here. There you guys can see it maybe. But we're gonna go make a round and I'll get away from these weeds and we'll find out how what this field really is. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Well, I guess here we are again, guys. We're cruising out here cutting. Thought I'd just kind of take you guys for a round and see how it is. I've got the flaps open, one notch away from being all the way open. I could lay the flap down so it lays it as wide as a conditioner, but I don't want to run over it that much. The ground is just a little bit wet. I am running over just a little bit on the corners, but I've got it as wide as I can without running over too much, I feel. I was really scared this field was going to be wet. The ground conditions were going to be wet, but our weather's kind of been changing. It's been getting hotter and stuff, and this is definitely firmer than what I thought it was going to be. The crick is a little soft, but this is actually pretty good oats. We did not fertilize this oats. And alfalfa, we put phosphorus down for the alfalfa, but we did not fertilize, put any N down for the oats because we done some soil sampling like we do every year, and we felt that nitrogen we had left in the ground was sufficient enough for what we were hoping for to get for an oats yield. As far as the tonnage goes. So that's why we decided not to. We based it off of soil samples and went that route. We probably could have, if this would have been just an oats field, we would have put some fertilizer on, but since we're really going for the new seeding alfalfa that's underneath the oats crop, this by far I think is the way to go. We didn't want it to get too heavy and then end up the oats going down because it was too tall, and then smothered the alfalfa that's underneath of it. We're gonna get down to that other end a little bit more, and we're gonna stop and show you guys the field, I guess, and probably kind of wrap this one up. This kind of gets boring just watching this thing cut hay, I think. I wish I had the drone, but my wife's not around today to drone me. But I'm sure we'll get some drone footage of cutting other things this summer. It is a little thin going down through this creek, and the creek is a little wet, but I'm able to go across it, and I'm hoping getting all the ground cover off in the next few days. It's supposed to be in the 90s. A few chances of storms, but I've kind of figured out, you know, you just can't put your life on hold because of a few storms. You got to keep on rolling forward. And yeah, this could get rained on, but you know, I wait a week and it could get rained on next week just as well as this week. You know, there's not a lot of jobs out there that you only, you know, you can be wrong most of the time and still have a job. So like a weatherman, and I'm not saying I want their job. I don't think I could do any better of a job, but just kind of an observation of mine. But now this stuff's cutting awful good. This was no-tilled into some corn stalks. If you watch the rest of the videos that were before this, you'll know that. It's just, I'm real happy with this. There's gonna be a few spots, like this spot we'll have to replant, it's grounded out, but as you can tell, it's at least dry. So, it's a huge improvement over what it was just 2 weeks ago. I was scared 2 weeks ago I wouldn't be able to pull on this field and cut it when it needed cut. Today's a Monday. I'm really hoping I can get this oats cut and baled by Friday. This is a 60-acre field. I actually cut the rye field, which is over across the road here on the other side of this brown field. I cut that rye field, and it was I think that one's 50 or 60, and then this one's 60. So if I cut it all, I'll have 120 acres on the ground, and I intend to cut all this. I know that field, it was a little wet when I started, but it dried out by the time I got done, and I think this one would have been pretty sticky this morning too, or this afternoon right away when I started. We haven't had a lot of drying weather, so to speak. We've had a lot of humidity, but finally we're getting in the 90s, and you know, that's kind of what we need. We got humidity for, you can bale and stuff, but we definitely need some heat for drying. I know dry air would be good for making hay, but dry air is not so good for the corn, so what can you do? We're not short on moisture right now though at all, so. But I guess I'm gonna stop up here just a little ways, and we're gonna jump out one more time and look at our alfalfa and our oats and walk around a little bit in it. Yeah, and we'll kind of go from there. I think we're gonna just go ahead and stop right here. I don't think we're in the tallest, I don't think we're in the shortest, I just think we're in the field. But as you can see, there's a lot of alfalfa down there on the ground. I think you guys can see that anyhow, I'm hoping. I don't know how the glare is, but there's a lot of little alfalfa down here. I think we got a really good stand. It's definitely time to be getting this oats off. This oats is getting conditioned very well. I really like that steel on steel conditioner on this machine. It's amazing. Here it is. Alfalfa's around 8 inches to a foot tall, give or take a little bit. I think when we get this cover off, I did plant the oats a little thicker than I normally do, but I knew I was just going to try to take it off sooner than later. But yeah, you guys just look at that. Look at that stand. I'm going to be real happy with this. I think this stand. I spent a lot of money on this alfalfa seed. It is not Roundup ready. It's just normal. I feel I don't need Roundup. There's other things I can use on alfalfa than Roundup. But anyhow, I guess, guys, I appreciate you watching. Please ask any questions down in the comments, and y'all have a good day now, you hear?